Today we are dissecting the leaked footage from Hillary Clinton's private deposition before the House Oversight Committee.
To the fundraiser to support my friend Nia Lowy.
All right.
Excuse me, can I interrupt?
I have
There
another.
are photos that are being released of the secretary as she is testifying from inside this room. Can you please advise me as to whether or not that's permissible and consistent with the rules, particularly given that we have asked for a public hearing? If there are photos that are being released of the secretary as she is testifying, can you please explain how that
I'm
can
done
occur?
with this. If you guys are doing that, I am done. You can hold me in contempt from now until the cows come home. This is just typical behavior.
We will go off the record.
Oh, for heaven's
So I would like
sake.
to understand how that's permissible.
Before the hearing was,
It doesn't
Excuse
matter.
me.
We all are abiding by the same rules.
I will take that down.
Yeah,
So I
well,
would like to take a break at this moment.
yeah,
and we'd like to have
I'm
a
done
conversation.
for now.
Go off the record. Go off the record.
First, we'll analyze the moment Lauren Boebert was caught breaking the rules in real time, and why her keyboard warrior persona crumbled when faced with actual accountability. Second, we will audit the strategic sabotage of this deposition, how a serious legal proceeding was turned into a social media circus to protect the co-conspirators in the Epstein ring. And finally, we will look at the Pizzagate diversion, why Republicans are wasting federal resources on debunked conspiracy theories instead of following the 38,000 leads that point to the current administration. I'm Camilo Motato, reporting for Thu News. As a certified public accountant, I deal with professional standards every day. In an audit, if a member of the team starts leaking confidential client data during a field visit, that person is immediately removed and the entire firm faces a liability. What we saw from Lauren Boebert this week wasn't just unprofessional, it was a systemic breach of the very rules she swore to uphold. Today, we are auditing the internal controls of Congress, or rather, the total lack of them when it comes to the Epstein investigation. The footage of this deposition is absolutely instructive. For years, Lauren Boebert has built a brand as a tough guy, someone who isn't afraid to take on the deep state. But look at the video. The second she is called out for leaking photos of Hillary Clinton testifying, she folds like a cheap suit. She stammers, she apologizes, and she obeys. This is the reality of the accountability theater. They are warriors behind a keyboard, but when they are admonished to their face for violating the rules of a private hearing, they act like scared children. This was supposed to be a private deposition to avoid a circus. Hillary Clinton actually requested a public hearing, but Republicans insisted on privacy, claiming they were serious legislators doing serious work. Yet the second Boebert sat down, she was texting photos to Benny Johnson. As a CPA, I analyzed the intended outcome. If the goal was to get accurate information about Jeffrey Epstein, you wouldn't risk the entire deposition by leaking illegal photos. By doing so, Boebert put the proceedings on ice. She gave the witness, Hillary Clinton, every reason to stop testifying. So, what was the real accomplishment? It was the optics. Republicans don't want the truth about Epstein. They want the image of their decades-long boogeyman in the hot seat. They wanted a smoking gun for the news cycle to cover for the fact that Donald Trump's own Department of Justice is currently withholding 3 million files. This is diversionary accounting, creating a massive spectacle with a shiny object like the Clintons so the public doesn't look at the $15,000 flights or the redacted names of the current power players. This part of the transcript is truly embarrassing for the US government. In a deposition about a very real sex trafficking ring, Lauren Boebert spent her time asking Hillary Clinton about Pizzagate, a conspiracy theory about a basement in a pizza place that doesn't even have a basement. Think about the resource misallocation. We have survivors like Maria Farmer and Virginia Roberts pleading for the names of co-conspirators to be unredacted. We have the actual files sitting on Pam Bondi's desk. And instead of following those leads, a member of Congress is asking about code words in 2016 emails. As a professional, I see a conflict of interest that is off the charts. The people investigating the ring are the same people implicated in the files. They turn the Clinton deposition into a spectacle because it's easier to own the news cycle with a partisan circus than it is to wait for the actual information to be revealed. They are prioritizing Trump's Democrat problem narrative over the actual justice the survivors deserve. Let's look at the most damning accounting error in this entire investigation. The Department of Justice recently released a batch of materials that the survivors themselves are calling a confrontation with betrayal. In any standard legal procedure, the priority is to protect the identity of the victims while exposing the perpetrators. But in the Epstein files under this administration, the ledger has been flipped. As a professional, I find the data integrity of these releases to be a total failure. We have a situation where the names of powerful co-conspirators remain blacked out. Total redactions for the elite class, while the personal data, images, and even nude photos of the victims were released to the public. This isn't just a mistake. It's strategic re-victimization. The survivors, including Maria Farmer and Virginia Roberts, are tired of the games. They are pointing out that while Lauren Boebert is busy taking selfies during a deposition, the DOJ is doubling down on denial and distraction. They are hiding the accounts payable of justice to protect the political capital of the current administration. There is a specific transaction in this timeline that every viewer needs to understand. Ghislaine Maxwell, the primary facilitator of Epstein's ring, was recently moved to a low-security prison. Why? Because she had a private meeting with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. In a forensic audit, we look for quid pro quo patterns. When a high-ranking official meets privately with a convicted felon, and that felon immediately receives a downgrade in their security level, you have a massive red flag for a side agreement. Combine this with the fact that Lauren Boebert was summoned to the Situation Room specifically to get her to take her name off a discharge petition for the files, and you see the walls closing in. The White House is focused on protecting Epstein's accomplices because the co-conspirators aren't just names in a book, they are the people currently running the country. Hillary Clinton's own testimony hit the nail on the head. She said, "Why do they want to pull us into this? To divert attention from President Trump. This is not complicated." As a CPA, I call this audit diversion. If I am auditing a company and I find a massive hole in the pension fund, the CEO might try to point me toward a minor discrepancy in the travel expenses of a former employee. That is exactly what Boebert and Comer are doing. They are holding the Clintons, who have already been audited by the public for 30 years, as a shiny object, so that the American people don't ask why Pam Bondi has had the full Epstein files on her desk for a year and hasn't released a single unredacted page. They want the partisan circus because it's a liability shield for Donald Trump, who is mentioned 38,000 times in those same files. Lauren Boebert is helping turn the plight of sex trafficking victims into a circus. She has proven that she cannot put the safety of survivors above her blind partisan loyalty for even 5 minutes. When it comes to a choice between the pedophiles in the files and their victims, Boebert's actions show she is firmly on the side of the former. She is using her position to validate Pizzagate-style fantasies, while real victims are standing in front of her demanding the whole truth. This is the total moral bankruptcy of the House Oversight Committee. They have the power to force transparency, but they'd rather curry favor with the White House than provide justice for the girls and women who are abused by these criminals. The final audit of the Clinton deposition shows a total loss of institutional credibility for the Republicans on the committee. Lauren Boebert's legacy will be that she was a keyboard warrior who turned into a scared child when caught breaking the rules. She sabotaged a federal proceeding for a photo op. The missing 3 million files, the exposed names of survivors, and the protection of co-conspirators are the hidden liabilities of this administration. The survivors said it best: courage is contagious. They are speaking out, and they are demanding true transparency. As a CPA, I know that you can't hide a debt forever. Eventually, the interest on the truth becomes too high for even the most powerful people to pay. But I want to hear from you. Do you think Boebert's leaks were a mistake or a calculated move to kill the deposition? Why is the DOJ exposing victims while hiding the names of powerful men? Let me know in the comments below. Your perspective is the only audit that matters when the official narrative falls apart. I'm Camilo Motato, certified public accountant for Thu News. Thank you for joining me for this 10-minute deep dive into the circus of Washington. Subscribe, stay informed, and stay safe.